With an increasing number of users, devices, and programs in the modern enterprise, combined with increased deluge of data, much of which is sensitive or confidential, the importance of cybersecurity continues to grow. The growing volume and the complication of cyber attackers and attack techniques compound the problem even further.
Security is among the top 10 global problems right now because as far as I know, each and every day there are over 30,000 websites being hacked. It is estimated that each minute that passes by, there is a cyber attack. So I believe, in my own opinion, I believe cybersecurity should be part of all of us. As the saying goes, with great responsibility comes power. So this basically breaks down into each and every individual. As you know, we are living in a smart environment. Each and every day technology is evolving, and there's an impact, negative and positive impact of each and everything. So for the case of technology, each and every that new technology is being brought to the market, that means there are risks associated with it. So let me first explain what cybersecurity is. So cybersecurity basically refers to the protection of information systems and the resources contained inside them. So as you know, all of us, we carry smart devices, meaning there are valuable information inside those devices we carry, be it a computer, be it a phone, be it a tablet, mention them all. So there are risks associated with that. Also, I can tell you cybersecurity basically rounds around three things. One, that is the CIA, I can say in short. The C stands for confidentiality, the I stands for integrity, and the A stands for availability. So let me explain what each means. When I talk about confidentiality, we are talking about basically the data. Basically the data, we are talking about CIA in relation to information that is being wired around the devices from point A to point B. When I say confidentiality in relation to information that is passing through these systems, I'm meaning that the information should only be known or seen or received by the person who is supposed to receive it. Meaning that it is not good when a third party intercepts it. When we talk about third parties here, we are talking about these attackers, the hackers. Because as you know, every day that passes by, you hear they've taken over. They've taken the entire database, the data in the entire database of such and such a company. For example, some weeks back, TikTok was a victim. The entire database was copied, meaning that all those users, everyone who's on TikTok and so on, these attackers actually got all your passwords and credentials because they are being stored in the database. For every system, there's a database, of course. So that is basically what we are talking about. So confidentiality, the ability of the information being transferred to be only seen by the person who's supposed to receive it. If, for example, I'm to send a message to my friend, it is only my friend who's supposed to see it, receive it, not again a third party. Once a third party comes and sees the message before it reaches, meaning that is the breach of confidentiality, abuse of confidentiality. So the next thing we are going to talk about is integrity. So integrity basically means the trustworthiness of information, of data, and ability of the data not to be changed by an unauthorized person. What do we mean here? For example, in the field of cybersecurity, there is what we call man-in-the-middle attack. An attacker can actually intercept information that is moving, that is on transit, and he edits it. That is now the changing, you get. By the time it reaches to the person that is supposed to receive, meaning the trustworthiness of the data is invalid because they have already changed, you get. So another thing we are going to talk about is now availability. Availability just basically means the ability of the data to be available to the users whenever they need them. So what are we talking about here? If the abuse of availability comes with attacks, for example, denial of service attack. Denial of service attack is basically when a user, for example, goes to a website and he tries to log in to the website and he fails to log in. He gets error 505, something like that. You actually fail to log in. For example, for the students of Makerere, you'll be trying to log in into your portal of Makerere, the student portal, but you fail to log in. Meaning there's a possibility an attacker sent denial of service. You get denial of service, and there are different types of denial of service. So when I say denial of service, that is just a single attacker flooding one system. Then we have also distributed denial of service attack. Distributed denial of service attack is when multiple attackers they combine, they combine to attack one system or many systems. So distributed denial of service attack is more dangerous than just a simple denial of service attack, which involves just one person attacking one system. So in distributed denial of service attack, we have terms, for example, zombies, the master, the slave. So the master is basically the attacker. So this is how it happens in distributed denial of service attack. For example, an attacker can actually attack an organization, all the computers in that organization, and he will use those systems in that organization now to launch attacks to other organizations.
Maintaining cybersecurity in a constantly evolving threat landscape is a challenge for all organizations. Traditional reactive approaches in which resources were put towards protecting systems against the biggest known threats, while lesser known threats were undefended, is no longer a sufficient tactic.
Today now, Wi-Fi networks are all over the world, in the hotels, everywhere at the airport, but they have that weakness. If at all I come and I join the public network, it can be lacking the encryption. Encryption, what I mean is encrypting your data so that it is encrypted through when you're making requests to the server, so no one can eavesdrop. Eavesdropping is like having data information linking out. I mean, it spreads through multiple entities which are not concerned about this information. So if you connect on a public network, let's say I, the malicious user, also connect to the network, I can penetrate into the network and obtain confidential information that is explaining more about you. Like I can get the username and password on any platform. Let's say you have a professional account on LinkedIn and you keep your data confidential. So if at all I join the public network, and my ambitions are to penetrate into the network and obtain some information so that I can spoil your name across the media. So you must keep a close eye on connecting on a public networks. Mostly you must join, or you must put emphasis on connecting on encrypted networks. If at all you open your phone and you see the Wi-Fi connection that is open without a padlock, don't connect to it. At least you go for the paid plan where the data can be encrypted, because information leak out on when you try to join on the public network. I'm going to show you how to crack the Wi-Fi encrypted Wi-Fi password. First, we need to scan the network. Sudo scan. Okay, so we need to set the target. So we are going to attack our network called cyber agent. It is here. So we need to copy the MAC address. We need to listen to the conversation and then capture the packets. It is listening on channel 11 and the MAC address which is here, and my interface is here. So I need to send the authentication packets. So now I'm sending the authentication packets. Right. So now we have captured the handshake. We have captured the handshake, and our packets are stored in this file. So let me use the aircrack and my dictionary, for it contains many passwords, and the packet is here. So now we have captured the handshake, and our network is cyber agent 12. So let us review the password. So the password is 123, which is the same password here. Password is here and key found. So we are able to connect. Let me connect to the network. Okay, so cyber agent password 112233.
0011.
I'm able to connect and go to YouTube. You have the network.
Check the password.
A strong cybersecurity strategy can provide a good security posture against malicious attacks designed to access, alter, delete, destroy, or extort an organization's or user systems and sensitive data. Cybersecurity is also instrumental in preventing attacks that aim is to disable or disrupt a system's device or device operations.
You cannot protect what you didn't invent. You get? So really, many of us are using devices, but you really don't know. You don't know what is inside there. For example, I can tell you most times people go and download apps from. You go and download a software from anywhere. So you go and download those softwares, but trust me, those softwares, they are not okay. If you don't download from the official site, for example, Play Store and so on, you will be downloading instead a malware that will begin spying on your phone, the messages and so on. And you know, nowadays hacking has been made very easy, because you can really learn hacking without actually going to attend a degree in hacking and so on. There are many people who have. There's a lot of content out there that teach people how to hack and so on. Yeah, they are there. So basically, hacking has been made easy. That is why we find the rise of script kiddies and so on. Script kiddies, these are just hackers who use people's scripts, the other hackers' scripts, the professional ones, and they use those scripts to do attacks. You get? So that's why there's a high rate of cyber attacks nowadays, because basically there's a lot of content out there that teaches people how to hack. You get? It's very easy actually to access someone's phone. Same to a computer, because there are content out there that can teach you how to hack. So that's why I would advise that basically, for example, the government of Uganda, you should really put focus on training more cybersecurity experts to combat these threats, because right now the cyber attacks that are happening, they are basically timing financial system. For example, the banks. You have had scenarios, DFCU has been hacked like that, mobile money. So the financial system, for example, these guys can really attack even maybe URL, and it can create great loss. loss of data and so on. An attacker can attack the database of URL and delete all the database. If there were no backup, if there is no backup, meaning everyone's data who has a record with URL will be lost. That's why me as a person, I would advise the government of Uganda to really put in effort in training more in the next generation of cybersecurity experts. Yeah, so I really thank UCC for their endeavor to bring out to put up competitions in cybersecurity. Yeah, for example, the cyber ranges that was concluded, I think, 1 month back. Then also around March there was PICO CTF that me myself and me and my team, recognized as red team, we participated, and we were the first runners up in the competition. So basically those competitions, to my view, I see it's really going to help. I encourage the government of Uganda, I encourage them to go on with such an initiative because it's really good. We are all heading, as you know, we are heading, the more the world gets advanced, the more cyber threats become more and more. So I encourage the government of Uganda to put focus in cyber security because, as I can tell you, countries like Israel, they have put much effort in cyber security. Like they have unit 800. Yeah, is it unit 800? Unit 800 actually is just the military people who are being trained in cyber security. Because all I can tell you, the next war is going to be, it won't be these ones of guns, you know, it is going to be cyber war. I can be here and I attack America from remotely from where I am here. I can give you an example right now. In Ukraine, in the Ukraine war, cyber attacks have taken the lead. You see, Russian sponsored hackers, they are attacking the power grid that is now critical infrastructure. You get, they are attacking critical infrastructure of Ukraine. For example, the power grids, they shut them down because everything now is connected. As you can see, even electricity power is being controlled by just a mere computer, meaning everything is on a thread. So what I would advise, the government should put in focus, should put efforts in training more cybersecurity professionals to combat these attacks. Yeah. So
findings indicate that cybersecurity threats in Uganda occur mainly at internal and external levels. At internal level, the lack of personal security etiquette, ignorance around computer and electronic safety resulted into exposures to risks and vulnerabilities.
In layman's language, it's like something used to defend your network from malicious attackers. If I'm to put it clear, let me say that you may connect to a public network, but then once it is a public network, that means that someone can be able to access your information that you're transacting over that network. So you may use like a VPN to seal off your information. So I may say that's what I can call it, chap in a layman's language. However, firewalls in cyber security, we have over time seen hackers overtaking them. I think the most recent triad was in India, where the bank's firewall were overtaken, and they installed a proxy that would in the banking system of somewhere in India, and they installed a proxy that proxy, it was for an attacker. So instead of it seemed legitimate to the users, so they kept on doing some reductions on transactions, and that's how they used the tech to steal those large sums of money. We have seen cybersecurity, much as most of the people do not. Okay, most of us, some of we pay very little attention to cyber, because maybe it's not in us, or it is something new. As tech grows, many things come in place. So you find that people keep on innovating. They keep on putting up new scripts that can convince. You find yourself like we don't pay attention to such things. So in a long way, you find that we are losing a lot of information, and you find as you lose the information, remember information is something that is so key. Most say it may be capital. Most of us, we use information as capital. So as you lose your information, you're losing money, you're losing everything. And that is a problem that is brought up by cyber. About firewalls, I can say that our tech is not yet advanced like the European countries, those with high tech, but we are still lacking a bit, most especially on implementation. We can buy the technology, but implementing it and following it is still a problem. That's why we are finding that the technology of firewalls may be good, but we do not know how to use it, how to implement it very well. That's why we find problems, and we find lacking a bit in utilizing the firewalls. Then we end up losing what we have. But I think that aside, what I pray that we would do, I think what we are doing, yes, we are adopting technology, but if we don't pay attention to cyber security, then that means we are actually creating trouble for ourselves. As we continue adopting technology, but how do we regulate it to be in favor of us? That is where the question of cyber security comes in. Therefore, I would urge everyone to pay attention to cyber security, because these are your assets. The moment you log on to WhatsApp, now imagine that you're on WhatsApp, and whichever information you're sharing, someone else is tapping in it or is possessing it as well. Imagine of such a scenario. So it wouldn't be good to adopt technology, but we forget how do we have it benefiting us, not losing to it. That's why I would encourage cyber security to be paid attention to. Maybe ways of paying attention to it. The government can opt to have competitions in primary schools. You know, we have to start from down. So it is hard to advance something into old people rather than young people. So if it starts from down there, I'm seeing that cyber security, there is hope of information retention, of utilizing the cyberspace in a favorable way where people will gain, not to lose. Then the government can also have, we have these public universities, we have very few that are specializing in cyber security. We may have postgraduate courses of cyber security that are very few actually in most of the public universities. UCC is trying to put up competitions, but much is still needed. Then there is also need to do intense sensitization of people, how to use the technology. Because you're going to bring the technology, you show them how beneficial it is, but you don't show them how they lose. So that if there is intense sensitization on how people can guard their assets, their assets, virtual assets, whichever asset that can be done digitally on a computer. If we have something sort of that, then we may have people using technology in their favor, not the other way around.
The importance of cybersecurity comes down to the desire to keep information, data, and services private and safe. In today's world, people store vast quantities of data on computers and other internet-connected devices, much of which is sensitive, such as passwords or financial data. If a cybercriminal was to gain access to this data, they could cause a range of problems. They could share sensitive information, use passwords to steal funds, or even change data so that it benefits them the same way.
We are going to demonstrate how actually an attacker can do a denial of service attack by doing what is called SYN flooding to a system. So here we have our Kali Linux machine. So the next thing I have to do after going to the root user, I have to go and open a tool called Metasploit Framework Console. So to open that, you just type ms console to open it. For the new learners, you can actually find it this way, but now for me, I think that could be too much time. So you type msf console and type enter and tap enter. So as we are waiting for it to load, we are waiting for it to load to the Metasploit console to open, so that we proceed with the next phase, with the next action to do the SYN flooding. Sometimes it can take time, but I believe it won't take time here. Yeah. So let's be waiting. Meanwhile, I can be showing you here as it's launching. If you are a new learner and you want to gain more knowledge about how to do attacks and so on, Kali Linux is the thing. You just come after installing it to your machine. You just come and you begin maneuvering through the different types of attack. You can see wireless attack. You want to crack a Wi-Fi, you can use this tool. Fun Wi-Fi cracker, Kismet, this River Wi-Fi, Bluetooth tools. These are all the tools to attack a system. You see database assessment. You can use SQL map to attack a database, and So our Metasploit is still loading. Meanwhile, let me continue showing you guys around. So basically, this is a Kali Linux tool, a Kali Linux system. These are the tools inside it: exploitation, forensics. As you can see, forensics. These are all forensic tools. You need to get an understanding about forensics, what forensics is. As you can see here, we have PowerShell Empire. This one actually can be used to maneuver through a system, to enter a system remotely. This PowerShell Empire here. We have exploitation tools. As you can see, Metasploit is among them. Crack. You can see this. You can crack passwords, brute force, and so on. Yeah, so our Metasploit console has started. So the next thing we are going to do, we are going to look for an exploit. So to do that, when you want to do SYN flooding, you write search SYN flood, then you enter. So this is the result. The next thing you do use, so you come and do this. As you can see, I said we are going to do denial of service attack. You can see a DOS TCP SYN flood. So then I come here and paste it. So once I paste, you can see we have entered another terminal. So this terminal now, since you are new, you can do what you can write show options. So after showing options, these are all options you have to set and so on. But majorly, when you're doing SYN flood, you need to set the remote port and the remote host. So set remote host, you write set remote hosts. So our remote host, we are going to use this is our remote host. We are going to use the IP address of this system. So I write it's 192.168.1.148. Yeah, so that's the remote host. So the next thing we are going to do, we are going to set the port. Set our port. Set set error port. So our error port, let me first scan a port here so that we do it, everyone is seeing where we came with the open port from. So our error port, our remote port, we do to get it, you have to run an nmap scan on your target system by typing this command nmap, then space, then you write the IP address of the remote of your target. Yes, so our target is 148, this its IP. Let's run the nmap scan and see the open ports. So once we get an open port, is what we are going to feed that way as a remote port. So we the nmap scan is running to make sure we get an open port. Okay, so I'm seeing here scanned, but let me try again another nmap scan using switches. So in nmap, basically you have to understand what are switches. So these are switches. For example, when I put hyphen then capital A, I'm doing an aggressive scan on the system. Then when I put hyphen then S, small s, then V, I'm trying to look for the service version of the system. So maybe let's try this. Let's see if it is scanning. So what you have to know, whenever you're scanning a system, there are 6,553 ports in total. So you can actually write a command that can scan all those ports. So we have scanned here, but we are not yet getting an open port. So I can go ahead and again add another command to see if we are getting open ports. The major thing, we need an open port, but of course here I can already use port 80 here. I can use port 80 here to flood our system. So it's doing since still scan, meaning I'm scanning his system, but without him actually noticing I'm scanning it. So let's wait. It takes time to get the results. So let's be patient as we wait for the scan to get done. So meanwhile, as it is still going on, as we are still waiting for our scan, I wanted to show you guys how to use Wireshark, because Wireshark we can actually see what we are scanning here, how packets are moving, but I will do that when we finish the scene flooding, and you can see how the system is being flooded. So let's be holding on as we wait. It is scanning. Yeah, because I commanded it to do an aggressive scan, so it has to take really its time to scan everything, and if we are successful, we are going to get an open port. To use an open port 80, you put set remote port 80. So after that, I just do exploits, and boom, we start flooding the system. To see whether this system is really flooding, this is our target system. If it's really flooding, the CPU is going to be rising up and down. As you can see, I think it's already moving because there's something happening on it. You can see here, you can see the CPU is already moving. So I can also as well open here Wireshark to show you how the packets, the rate at which the packets are moving. So our Wireshark is going to open. So our Wireshark is starting. So this is our Wireshark. So Wireshark is basically used to view how packets are moving, and actually you can get all information using Wireshark here. You can intercept also here, like you can view information even in plain text here. So when I come here and press start capturing packets, I'm capturing packets that are on transit. As you can see, this is our source. You get, this is our source. This is our computer. This machine that I'm using to attack this system. So the destination that we commanded that the SYN flooding should happen, it is this. This is the IP address of this machine, you get. So this is the rate at which it is SYN flooding the system. As you can see, this is what this is, and we commanded it to be on port 80. So actually here it keeps on changing the IP address, but of course nevertheless it's doing what it's meant to do. So this is Wireshark. So to notice that there is a flooding taking place, the CPU begins misbehaving. As you can see, it's rising 7, 21 and so on, the CPU speed, because this is where you see the activities taking place in the CPU. You can see it is jumping from 6, it's going to 32, it's coming back to 8, to 9 and so on, meaning this system is already flooding. If at all he had the SNOT, an intrusion detection system in his machine, I think it's even there, the SNOT can actually identify the origin of this packet, because one, I have not done this anonymous to cover my identity, like using proxies and so on. I've just done it plain, meaning if he was really serious, he can trace back who really sent this packet, because Snot can do that. So let's go on, and since this we're already demonstrating this, let me go to another demonstration of doing a distributed denial of service attack using some scripts. So I can go here. Let me check if I already installed the script here. So I go and check what is there. Yeah, so I have the script here. So I change directory. This CD means change directory to this script here. So then when I press tab, so I'm inside here. I've changed directory from the root user. I've gone to this. This is the next directory I'm in. So if you want to know what a directory is, you can make research about Linux and so on. So Linux, actually hacking, you need to know Linux mostly, because it's the major thing. Then of course you have to have broad knowledge on everything. So let me list what is inside here. So as you can see, this is my Python script. That I want to use now to do the distributed denial of service attack. So the next thing I'm going to do, to launch it, I'll just type Python 3, then I copy it. When I copy it, okay, then I paste it. Once I paste it, as you can see, it has brought me to an attack surface. I can actually move in here, you see. Black Hat ethical hacking. So this script basically, it is from the Black Hat ethical hacking. As you can see here, it's asking you for the target, IP target. So IP target, we can as well do also this very system. Yeah. So 168.1.148. Yeah, so don't close the CPU. Let's see what happens. So now the port, we said we are going to port 80. So the times are counted in seconds. I can decide to set 6,000 seconds to flood this system. So let's do it, 6,000. So then when I do like this, you can see attack starting. So attack starting, you're going to actually see how packets are running, how it's attacking.
I can try to visit some site.
You can try. But I want first notice what's happening here. So attack starting, just hold on, you're going to see how the attack is actually really running. Okay, as you can see, packets are being sent like crazy. Check if target is down. So if really I set maybe for the attack to be for 2 hours, by the time the 2 hours elapse, this system will be not actually working, because it will be really too much load on it. So this is it. We have set 6,000 seconds, so it's going to flood the system until, as you can see, until the 6,000 seconds are done. You can see a number of packets. They are in 87,000, 90s. See, it's really much. It's really much. So this is a simple script actually for for doing a distributed denial of service attack. It's not that there are very many tools. Actually, you as a security professional out there, you can write your scripts. That is even better. This is a script written by someone. So I was just demonstrating for you how actually you can do a distributed denial of service attack.
If you notice that the password that you used yesterday is not working today, do not just imagine that you have forgotten your password. Many times we think we have forgotten our passwords, and yet someone changed it for you. So you must be quick enough to change back to something you know. Let me tell you one of the scenarios that can actually go wrong. Every social media account is either linked to a phone number or to an email, right? If your account gets hacked right now, the objective of the hacker is to first change your password so that you lose access to it. But even after you have lost access, you can still use your email to reset it back. The second objective of the hacker will now be to change the attached email, okay, such that even you now, when you try to use your original email, it no longer works. All of this can be done in a space of just an hour. But because sometimes hackers are slow, sometimes they think that changing the password alone is enough, they may actually stop at that for a while before they proceed to reset the email. So when you notice that you have been hacked, your social media has been hacked, immediately reset the password and now apply strong controls. What are strong controls we're talking about? One, make sure the PIN is strong and long. Long is a minimum of 12 characters containing capital letters, small letters, characters like alphanumerics, all of that. Number two is use what we call multi-factor authentication. I don't know if you have heard of it. Multi-factor authentication is simply a way in which when you're logging into your account, you also add an SMS. Okay, so that after I have put my PIN, the token is sent to the phone, and then I use the phone to log in. I think most of us have seen this, mostly with our bank accounts. Don't just leave it with your bank account. Do it on your social media. And you see, it's sometimes I have noticed most people, when they're talking about applying security controls, they care more about the bank accounts rather than things like social media, emails. What you don't know is that even those other channels can still be used to extensively disorganize you, as the same as the financial application as well. If I use your email to impersonate you, what kind of damage could I bring to your image? If I used your social media account to post malicious content, how much damage can I possibly create on your image? So you find that at the end of the day, I encourage that let us not just apply strong security controls to only financial tools, but also across the divide.